So I've had a ton of people come into my stream lately asking about how you can make a team with not a lot of stubs. So I want to go ahead and put together a team for you guys that I think will be actually pretty competitive, especially on All-Star or on Veteran, which a lot of you guys probably play on. And this team will be under 30K stubs, a full team under 30K stubs, you guys right now. Looking at it actually costs 29,973 stubs. And this is a team full of guys that are very glitchy, have great swings, and their attributes are pretty good too. So one thing I will note with this team is they're all obtainable on the market. I'm not doing cards that you guys can just grind for. These are all cards that are obtainable on the market. Now, you can get some of them through grinding, like, don't get me wrong, but face the franchise guys are not going to be in here at all that stuff. So just keep that in mind as well as we're making this video. These are all guys that are obtainable on the market. So I'm going to go over each position, catcher all the way to right field, and some bench bats, our starting pitchers and our relief pitchers and closing pitchers as well. So we'll have all those in this video for you guys. If you guys think this does help you guys out, please leave a like for me. Make sure you guys comment down below as well what other cards you guys like for your budget beasts. And make sure you guys subscribe as well. That way you guys never miss any notifications, miss any videos. But let's get right into it. So the first card we're going to talk about is our catcher. MJ Melendez, I think, is actually the most expensive card that I have on this list right here. So if that gives you any indicator, he is a prospect for the Kansas City Royals, and he's awesome. He's a left-handed bat. He's got great defense along with a great bat and a great swing. He's got 80 power versus righties. Just a really good overall card, a card I think you guys should be using, especially if you guys don't maybe have a great catcher right now. Got a great swing. I would definitely put him on your squad. Moving along to first base, we have Ryan Mountcastle. Now, he is a Baltimore Oriole. Very good card. Very good guy, too. He is playing a little bit up today, too. So just looking at his attributes, okay, besides his defense is not very good, but at first base, it doesn't really matter that much. You can plug him at third base and left field, too. He does have secondary positions, but again, there will be a hit on that, so just be careful with that. He's got 80 plus power against lefties and righties. So, you know, the 80 power threshold, perfect fly ball, should be a home run in theory. Ryan Mountcastle will be smashing the ball for you. Contact might not be the best, but again, on these lower difficulties, the PCI is already big. So Ryan Mountcastle could be a really good guy for you guys at first base. One of my favorite BR cards, Jorge Polanco, the second baseman for the Minnesota Twins, should be your second baseman here. Now, I will say his attributes do not look the best. I promise you, he plays way above them. He has a fantastic swing. The power at 64 and 59 does not look appetizing, but I promise you guys, he is definitely worth it. He's got decent fielding too, 67, nothing too crazy. Decent speed as well. So just overall, a really good card. Maybe not the best, not the worst, but a really good guy to have in your lineup, a really balanced guy that will actually get you a lot of hits. He will have a lot of power for you guys too, so make sure you guys look at Jorge Polanco. One of my favorite cards from last year, Austin Riley, the third baseman for the Atlanta Braves. He does play first base and left field too, so he does have a little bit of variety there with some utility. But looking at his hitting attributes, he's playing up actually plus 13 today, especially against lefties. Last year struggled a lot against lefties. This year, at least on the base start of his card, he's got 86 power versus righties. He's got plus 13 right now, power versus lefty right now, which means that at 81, obviously plus 13 contact too. Again, that's just the inside edge, so it's not always going to be there, but we can see him playing up quite a bit. His defense, again, might be a little bit suspect at third base with the 59 defense. But I do think he'll be fine over there playing at third base for you guys. He'll get a lot of doubles, a lot of home runs for you. He's just a very good card overall. Now moving to shortstop, we have Francisco Lindor, the shortstop for the Mets. Again, attributes might not look that great, but again, a guy that has a fantastic swing, an elite defender too. You always want to have a really good defender at shortstop and center field. So great defender there. He's got 72 power versus righties, 61 power versus lefties. Again, a guy that might not jump at you with his attributes, at least on paper, but once you actually use him in a game, I promise you guys, his swing is amazing. I loved using him in BR last year. I think he'll play very well on Veteran and All-Star for you guys. So Francisco Lindor, man, make a note of him. Okay, so moving to left field, we have Giancarlo Stanton, the left fielder for the Yankees. Now, looking at his fielding, not the best. His speed is not the best either, but what he lacks in fielding, he makes up for hitting. This dude has some great hitting attributes. Has a new swing this year too. If you didn't like it last year, it's even better than it was last year in my opinion. 94 power versus righties, 99 power versus lefties. Not even bad with his contact either. Playing up plus 15 today too. So just another dude to have on your team. Great gold for you guys. And I could see him, you know, making a big jump this year as well. Now, this one might be a little bit of a homer pick. You guys can tell in the background I'm a Pirates fan. But I promise you guys, Brian Reynolds is the truth. He is the center fielder for the Pittsburgh Pirates right now. Now, again, his power versus lefties does not look good, but his swing, again, is just another buttery smooth swing. He's got great contact, so that PCI is going to be huge for you guys. He's got some good power versus righties too at 71, but he's also a great defender with some really good speed too. So he's going to get some good jumps for you guys. He's not going to miss a lot of balls out there. His accuracy might not be the best, but as long as you guys are really good at that button accuracy, it doesn't matter. We love Brian Reynolds in Pittsburgh, and you'll love him on your squad too. And rounding out our starting lineup is Mitch Haniger, the right fielder for the Mariners. If you guys had a chance to at least use his Face of the Franchise card, I tell you what, this dude has a fantastic swing. He's got really good attributes against lefties and not a slouch against righties either. His fielding, again, might not be the best for you guys. He has 53 speed, but again, just a guy that has a really good swing. Very good against lefties and be deadly against them, and he'll do his job against righties as well. So let's go ahead and talk about our bench. So if we want to have a backup catcher, a guy that's going to be very good for you off the bench, we have a guy like Mitch Garver. Mitch Garver has plus 80 powers against lefty and righty. He's got decent fielding too. Again, if you use him in a bench bat, it doesn't really matter for his fielding. He's got decent contact too. Again, today he's playing down 8 right now on the inside edge, but that doesn't mean that he's not going to be good for you guys. 80 plus power is amazing, especially on the veteran and all-star stages. So Mitch Garver's a good guy to have for your bench. A guy you'll definitely want off your bench, Jesse Winker. Now, Jesse Winker sucks against lefties, but against righties, he's an absolute menace. So he's playing plus 11 up today against righties. So 111 contact, 96 power for you guys. An absolute menace off the bench against righties. Definitely a guy that is very heavy split it on one side. But if you face a righty, you know he's going to absolutely slap. Jesse Winker is a must-have on your bench. Now for our third bench spot, I'm going to do a backup first baseman. Again, probably not a big deal, but just a guy you like to have that has a lot of power. Luke Voit is going to be that guy for you. Again, not great contact, but power is through the roof, especially for a silver card. His defense sucks is the reason why that his overall is so far down, but he's coming off the bench for you. 83 power versus righties and 90 power versus lefties. He's just a really, really good card. He's actually got a fantastic swing too. It kind of like a little bit of a weird batting stance, but once you kind of get used to it, the dude is going to absolutely slap the ball. A lot of power. He's going to hit a lot of home runs, a lot of extra base hits for you guys. Luke Voit, a great guy to have too. Now, if you guys know me well, and you guys know that I play BR a lot, Alberto Mondesi is my favorite player to draft in Battle Royale. It's not because he can play everywhere in the infield. He's very fast. He's a really good defender. His bat is one of the best in the game, especially in Battle Royale. So looking at his attributes, again, they don't jump out. They're actually better than they were last year. So they're actually worse last year, and I still loved him. But his swing is absolutely amazing. It's a two-handed swing. And for some reason, I don't know what it is. It just generates a lot of pop. I have a lot of home runs with him. I'm batting 500 with him and 68 at-bats with 9 home runs. Like, this card is an absolute menace. He's playing up against righties today too, so he's even better. I just hope that he stays healthy this year, that we get a full season of him. They did nerf his fielding from last year, which kind of sucks. I actually did use him center field quite a bit. But Alberto Mondesi, I promise you guys, if you've never used him, please give him a shot. And our last bench spot will be Joey Gallo, the left fielder for the Yankees, who also plays first base, third base, center field, and right field. And he plays them all very well with his diamond defense. His speed is not the best, so center field probably isn't the best spot for him, but you can put him out there. But the biggest thing we know with Joey Gallo is his power. 97 power versus righties, 103 power versus lefties. The contact is very, very suspect, but again, these lower difficulties, it doesn't really matter because the PSI is already big for you guys. So Joey Gallo is going to be a menace off the bench, and you can plug him in wherever you want to if you need a defensive replacement. I would definitely look into adding him on your team. So we've talked about all the position players. So let's go ahead and talk about our pitchers. We're going to start with our starting pitchers. We've got Lance Lynn of the White Sox. As you guys know, the sinker cutter meta still lives very strong in this game. He also has that circle change, which is kind of the new meta too in this game. The only problem kind of with Lance Lynn is his curveball. I wish he would have a slider, but he's got really good attributes. 87 hits per 9. He's got 86 stamina. So he's going to be a very, very good card for you guys. Just an easy card to use too. A really easy windup, easy to get down. So Lance Lynn's our first starting pitcher. So moving on to our second starting pitcher, Charlie Morton for the Braves. And if you guys see anything within the last card, you see the sinker cutter mix again. I think it actually has the exact same pitch mix as Lance Lynn. Again, the curveball kind of stinks, but Charlie Morton's known for throwing his curveball, so it's going to move a ton for you guys. It's going to loop way up there, so if you kind of combat that with the high fastball and the low curveball, you should be pretty good there. Again, pretty good attributes. He's got 96 velocity, 98 break, I think, is the biggest thing with him. The ball's going to move a ton. So he's a guy that will mix around for you, get a lot of ground balls. Charlie Morton is our second starting pitcher. Moving on to our third starting pitcher. And ironically, if you see it again, has pretty much the exact same pitch mix as Lance Lynn and Charlie Morton. Sinker, cutter, knuckle curve. Their circle change, again, is going to be absolute beast this year. But we do see that now he does have a slider. So the slider, I think, plays a very good part in his pitch mix. Again, the attributes look good. He's got good break, good velocity, good hits per 9. He's got some decent stamina too. Lance Lynn is another guy that you guys can definitely use on your squad. Moving to our fourth pitcher, Logan Webb, the starter for the Giants. Again, a very good card with this sinker cutter meta. I think the biggest thing with Logan Webb is how much break that he has. It's really hard to hit his pitches. Again, he might not have the best hits per 9 or Ks per 9, but the fact that the ball moves so much makes it really hard. His slider is literally a frisbee. It moves like crazy. The sinker moves a ton. Obviously, you have the cutter too. So Logan Webb is a very, very good guy. I'm sure you guys will love using him. And then our last pitcher is Sandy Alcantara for the Marlins. I think he has the best stamina out of the group and decent hits per 9. The only thing about him, he doesn't have the cutter, but again, he does throw pretty hard at 98. He's got 99 velocity, so you know he's going to be throwing hard for you guys. So Sandy Alcantara actually has outlier as well. Now I know outlier is a little bit more nerfed than it was in past years, but again, outlier is going to be hard to hit. Sinker, slider, the circle change, four seam as well, and a curveball. Would be really nice if you had that cutter too, but Sandy Alcantara can do it all for you. And then the last we want to talk about is our bullpen for your squad. Let's start off with Raisel Iglesias. Raisel has a lot of movement, has a lot of velocity. He has a really weird pitching motion too, which kind of makes it even harder to hit him. He's got the four seam, slider, circle change, and two seam. Maybe not the best pitch mix, but again, it still plays really well. That circle change dances, man. It moves like crazy. So it usually does play up too. So technically he has 98 hits per 9 and 96 Ks per 9, but he's still in the high 80s with that, which we really want in our bullpen. So Raisel Iglesias will be our first bullpen arm. So the next arm we're going to talk about is going to be a lefty. There aren't a ton of lefties to choose from, so I had to throw some in here. So Taylor Rogers is probably the best little budget lefty we can come up with that's a gold at least. He has a slider, sinker, and sweeping curve. Really not a great pitch mix. I wish he had maybe a circle change too. I mean, if you had that cutter, something like that would make him even more usable. He does kind of have a weird throwing motion, which kind of throws people off too. And the ball moves a ton. He's got 99 velocity as well. His hits per 9 is 73. His Ks per 9 is 81. He's just a nice budget lefty to have in your bullpen. Again, might not be the best, but there aren't a lot of lefty bullpen arms right now in the game. So Taylor Rogers should be one you guys look for. So moving on to our next relief pitcher, we have Dale Castillo of the Mariners. Now again, a guy that might have the best pitch mix, but the slider sinker combination with him, with the velocity and the break that he has, is unreal. He's got 93 hits per 9 just on his live series card. Again, he's playing down today, so that kind of sucks, but I promise you guys, man, Dale Castillo, the ball moves a ton from him. He's got pretty good Ks per 9 too. So Dale Castillo will throw hard for you. The ball will move a ton. He has a slider mixed with it. Just got a ton of those pitches really good. He's a very good bullpen arm for you guys. Now, probably the best budget reliever of them all is Blake Trinan. Now, Blake Trinan has 99 velocity, 99 break, 101 hits per 9, sinker, slider, cutter, and the four seam. Has the best pitch mix. He is the best reliever in Battle Royale. I promise you guys, plays way above any attributes, plays way above the diamonds that I think that are in there right now as well. Blake Trinan is an absolute must-have on your team right now. I'm going to use him for a very long time, and then they'll give him a diamond card they usually do. So Blake Trinan, put him in your bullpen. You will not regret it. So our next bullpen arm will be Kendall Graveman, the relief pitcher for the White Sox. Now Kendall Graveman had a cutter last year, which made him a little bit better, but just because he doesn't have a cutter this year doesn't mean he's not good. He's got the sinker, he's got the four seam, circle change, the slider, the curveball, all good stuff. He has 99 velocity as well. 99 hits per 9, so that PCI is going to be small for your opponent. Again, just a really good card to have. His sinker, you can actually play up in the zone too. His par is kind of small, so you can actually use a sinker wherever you want to, which is always a plus. Kendall Graveman, a great addition to your bullpen. Now, this one is kind of surprising because I thought after last year, how they kind of nerfed him this year, that he wouldn't be great. So last year, he actually had a better pitch mix. He actually had a changeup. This year they took away the changeup and they gave him a slurve and a slider. He had a curveball and a slider last year, which makes, I guess, a little bit more sense, but I wish he saw that changeup. We got TJ Antone. Technically right now, I think he's recovering from Tommy John, so I think he's still on the Reds. if I remember right. He might not be, I'm not sure, but he's technically not on a team right now. But he is amazing. He actually is pretty cheap right now too. I think he's under like 500, 600 stubs. But what he brings to the table for you guys is the 99 velocity, 99 break, and 103 hits per nine. If you guys have seen a certain trend with these guys, the velocity and break are a big thing for relief pitchers. That sinker moves so much along with that slider and slurve. If you mix those two and tunnel them really well, I'm telling you guys, TJ Antone is going to be an absolute menace for you. Put him on your bullpen. You will not regret it, I promise. So this is another surprising one too. Hector Neris was unusable last year. He had a terrible pitch mix. This year, he's become one of my favorite BR guys. He's got a splitter, a four seam, a sinker, and a slider. They gave him a better pitch mix. He's got great hits per nine. And again, looking at the velocity and the break, he kind of throws a little bit weird too. It's like a little sidearm deal that kind of throws people off with his follow through. But the sinker moves a ton, the slider moves a ton, the splitter, with it being primary pitch, he's got really good control of it, so you can dot that thing wherever you want to too. Hector Neris was not usable last year, but you definitely want your team this year. And our last bullpen arm, another lefty, a guy that, you know, I could not miss, is Aaron Loup, the newly acquired Angel. I think he should actually have better hits in Ks per nine because he was absolutely unreal last year. He's got the sinker, cutter, circle change, and slurve. Now, I will say his arm release is not as glitched as it was last year, but it's still very good. It's just a weird looking arm release. He's got good hits per nine. And again, the break for him is the biggest thing, not the velocity. Like I said, he throws a sidearm, so the velocity is not the biggest deal, but the break moves a ton. You can put his sinker wherever you want to. Our final bullpen spot goes to Aaron Loup. And there you have it, a full team that you can definitely be competitive with in ranked seasons, under 30,000 stubs. A full team for you guys, man. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope it helps you guys out too, because there's a lot of people have been asking me about this. But I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.